Hey-ya-na, hey-ya-na. Welcome to Star Songs. Start with a prayer. Great Spirit, Divine Source, beautiful Sophia, Cosmic Mother and Father, God, all aspects of the creational forces that work in all form and no form in the here and now that support my living experience. Just calling in your divine expansive presence in the here and now to support this Star Songs, focused and directed around galactic human and galactic earth and all cosmic histories and energies that need to come through in any way, shape or form, asking beings of love, presence and light to come through in my voice, in my expression of being in the here and now, and please guide this process in the most perfect, synchronistic expression of beingness in the here and now that support our connection to galactic human and galactic earth in the here and now. Calling in all star systems or energies or frequencies that are beneficial to this Star Songs with the most calming and expansive, supportive field of energy, supporting this connection with Great Spirit, with the Akashic Records, and with our divine potentiality and purpose as humans in the here and now. Calling in all the masters, the angels, the divas, the dryads, the animals, calling in all of our teams, our galactic and cosmic councils that we are a part of or in connection with, or unity consciousness with in the here and now. Just asking for all words to flow in synchronistic energy, in complete divine alignment, helping me bring through whatever needs to come through around this topic today. Thank you so much, Great Spirit, by the power of three, a perfect Trinity. It is done, it is done, it is done. I consciously accept this manifest, manifest, manifest. We love you, Great Spirit. as we relish in our cosmic galactic connection, as galactic humans experiencing galactic Earth. We say this because we are at a very pinnacle point in human consciousness in the here and now that is of the utmost important phase, where we start to bridge our connection with that of a more conscious relationship and journeying while we walk the path together in our evolution to re-establish, or re is light, establish. So we're light establishing, we're bringing the light to establish our connection with higher realms as galactic humans on galactic Earth. What does this mean? That when we went through a fall in consciousness within our Earth timeline that we are still reeling from and coming to terms with in many ways, where we were once a part of these galactic and cosmic councils as divine beings, and due to an unfortunate series of events where error was brought further to the panic and the experience of these series of events, in which caused us to fragment as a consciousness on Earth and caused us to, I guess on some level, go through a massive amnesia. And forget so much of what we had attained as mastery prior. And for quite a while, in the cosmic scheme of things, it's like a blink, but for us it's multiple generations. We have been living in the reeling in of, and the sort of the aftermath of that fall of consciousness. And due to that, we were very easily manipulated. We were much easier to control due to the lack of memory and the lack of awareness of our mastery. So being a galactic human is essentially reclaiming, light claiming, our true essence and our true core of our being, and the journey in which we have, in terms of Earth, gone through has been a very dark night of the Earth soul that we all incarnated and chose to be a part of this experience and process through this universe and through Earth's expression and beingness of its particular stage in evolution at this time. So our cosmic origins have always and are always a part of us. We have been created by creators, and we are continuously recreating ourselves in each moment through this body nature technology. And by being creators in this moment, we forget at times that we are. It's so normalized, it's so natural, it's what living in a you know, what we perceive as a third dimensional reality is. But every moment, every choice, every experience, the way we meet that experience is a vibrational alignment or misalignment, depending on where we are at any given moment. And this cosmic, galactic, human stewardship that we're starting to step into is a new beginning. It's a rebirth. And in this rebirth, we are experiencing ourselves as emotionally present in the now, lords and ladies of the flame, which is burning through the dark ages, the amnesia, and starting to shine through each of us as a part of the Christ consciousness light body that we all are as a collective, and the collective Christ consciousness individual expressions of those bodies, which is the Christ body. And so our Christ consciousness, the experience of us moving together, learning to fly together, learning to soar together, is an experience in which multiple different star systems and vibrational frequencies have entered consciously in before birth, and then obviously forgetting when born into the human experience. And so this galactic human, galactic earth experience is really starting to emerge as the front stage in which we're all walking on at this time. And there is a lot of love and support and extra attention and presence at this time. There have been times where very few beings were able to hold this type of experience, and often they were ridiculed or taken out. So the galactic human, for where we are now, is at its core paying homage to every single lifetime, every being that is incarnated through every lifetime on Earth that is chosen to walk the way of being a galactic human, well before it was ever understood as anything that was relative to that particular reality, because most people had forgotten. And the fall of consciousness meant we fell into shadow, and we didn't realize, you know, how challenging that process would be. So looking at every single being, which includes all the masters that have incarnated, the masters is in the human consciousness, the beings that have walked the human pathway lifetime after lifetime, or maybe mastered it in one lifetime, depending on what they were here for and where they were originally incarnated from, and what they were bringing through as a mission. They're all part of why we even have this time now where we can all step into this together and have a lot more support than what we've ever had. We have support at every fingertip, times infinity, because it's so powerful what is happening. So the galactic human is a template of human consciousness that is new to the here and now, and is upgraded to the here and now unfolding transformation that we're all going through. But it pays homage to all of the beings that have kept the fire lit along the way, the flame lit for humanity along the way, even at great costs, at great sacrifice. Prior to our fall of consciousness, we were very, very aware of our service to Earth and our roles in incarnating on Earth. We also recognized the gifts and the wisdoms that were available throughout each of our experiential beingness at that time. And so this is a time of reclaiming, light claiming our rebirth. Re is light, birth. We're rebirthing ourselves into the light. We're remembering ourselves. We're light membering. We're a light team. We're a light team, and we are a member of the unity consciousness in which we all are, even if we perceive and experience being in an individual human physical vessel or a body nature technology. A technology is upgraded to connect in with the biosphere of Earth and the continual feedback information in which we are in the process of upgrading, but also dismantling old belief systems, but dismantling old frameworks, dismantling vibrational frequencies that have been habituated and fractalized into our day-to-day lives that cause us to stay in that amnesia. So being a galactic human is taking on more responsibility, because people think often that by stepping into the spiritual path that you're releasing the responsibility, that you are becoming less physical or less human. But actually, from my understanding and from what I'm shown, it's actually a larger amount of responsibility and an even bigger amount of owning who we truly are as a race while we're incarnated into this race. Denying who we are and where we come from and what our energies are is denying all of our gifts and our powers. And to me, to become so truly connected into the flame of humanity through the love, wisdom, and power of what is available here through this experience is then enabling us to then anchor in more of who we are in other star systems and other aspects in the here and now, not as separate destinations, not as as separate realities. They're starting to merge within you as a world and a universe unto itself, as a portal to all of creation in all different forms and no form. So Galactic Human, walking along the path of the galactic Earth pathway, walking the path of Earth's ascension, is a huge responsibility. It not only means that we will need to heal ourselves in entirety, like continuously live a life of understanding and living as healers, as a collective society, as a collective way of life. That healing will eventually not necessarily be a profession. It'll be literally a way of life. It is literally a self-fulfilling or self-healing alchemy. It is unfolding within our genetics at this time. We're having upgrades in our genetics, in our ways of being. So there are so many different elements to and responsibilities that fit to that galactic human. Galactic Earth is being re-invited or ignited into the cosmos on a conscious level. So there are beings that are connected in with all of these light councils and all of these different civilizations and energies. Some work more for, the negative polarity, and some more for the positive polarity. And, that's part of creation. We have duality and we have these experiences, and different beings play different roles, and they have, unique lineages and experiences and contracts within that in a lot of situations. And being a galactic human on galactic Earth is recognizing ourselves not just as humans and not just our everyday life, but recognizing that every choice we make echo into our multidimensional sky map. I call it a sky map. I don't know why. I just see it as a map, and things light up with certain people at different points. So our multidimensional experience means that there are multiple points of experience parallel happening in the now, but all converged. Well, the human experience on Earth is now starting to become aware of the different incarnations, the different experiences, the many different lifetimes on one planet, but maybe on others as well. So that responsibility is what we talked about in initiation, is a huge initiation into who we truly are, and it is setting a precedent for us to move forward as a race, to evolve together, where we have to self-direct, and we are becoming like teenagers, starting to develop our own sense of identity as a race and learning how to be, seeing what direction we go in terms of what we've been given. To make it clear, and I keep getting told this, so I just need to say this really clearly, that the amount of support that is available to us at this time is like almost unbelievable. It's believable because I don't want to set that as a vibration, but it's unbelievable in that it's so much. There are so many beings working through our guides, working through our lives, working through for Great Spirit and with Great Spirit to orchestrate this experience that we're having. And we are being given so much support. Our understanding of lack is kind of distorted in this modern time, because in the dark ages or the amnesia, our understanding of lack was through real experience. It was through suffering. It was through being imprisoned. It was through being targeted. It was through being persecuted. And so we have these real living, I guess, memories that are like ghosts within us that, if unhealed or haven't been integrated into the whole of the multidimensional self, are waiting to be acknowledged and to be received. Because like with anything, you know, through those experiences, there's a lot to be gained, even if through the actual human perspective of it wasn't enjoyable. There can be some very powerful transformations or healing available or medicine available through a being who has gone through a lot of suffering. That is often part of the journey and part of the experience of unifying ourselves with the many aspects of our experiences or our timelines. So the support that we have is immense, and we can call in a lot of support. But because we're in a very experiential time, it makes it difficult for us to know sometimes what's true and what's not, what we perceive as truth or what we perceive as not, or what it is right for us to take on but not right for another. It's a complex discernment process, and it involves really being in the present moment of the feeling state in the here and now, and learning how to trust in the experience you're having as always showing you what it is that you're wanting to work on or heal or overcome. So if you have a difficult week, and that week you go downhill with health, and you also go through all these really heavy emotions, you could say, oh, it was just a flu, or it was just a cold, or it was just this. Or you could be like, okay, so something big is transforming in my field and I'm responsible for it. So for me to be responsible for it, I've got to feel it. But I have the safety and support of my higher self. I have the safety and support of beings that are willing to support me in the here and now. And so I can call in extra help to help clear this up a lot quicker. With the level of support and availability of support at this time is kind of incomprehensible. That when I truly look into the timeline of Earth, like the availability, because we're in sort of a portal or a gateway between, and we're sort of in a new world, in this new energy, this opening up of a new cycle in a lot of ways, or a gateway between cycles. And yet we still have things to resolve in the old cycle. And so this is what Galactic Hue-man is also responsible for at this particular phase of our evolution, at this stage that we're at, because we're going to evolve past this. The experience that we've had in a very third dimensional reality, when we are moving into a more fourth dimensional reality, dreams that seemed separate to your physical reality will start to merge into your physical experience. So things are very, I guess you would say, maybe more integrated. But to adjust to that level of type of communication that's coming in, we have to at least acknowledge that we're communicating on levels that haven't been available for quite a long time. And maybe they were available if we knew that they were available, or if we knew to ask for them or how to ask for them. But there is it's almost like I see the veil is being lifted. And through that veil being lifted, it gives us the opportunity to see into both worlds simultaneously, and see in multiple worlds and lifetimes and timelines that overlap within both of those, sort of pathways or journeys, the past and the future, that's integrated and unified through the here and now of our awareness. So Galactic Hue-man is a pathway of responsibility and stewardship. We're learning how to become responsible and accountable for our race. That's a big deal. That's a big energy. And I'm being shown that, firstly, that always equates to, how do I become more responsible for my reality here and now? How do I become more aware of what it is that I need to be, the path that I need to be walking? What obstacles are in my way that are in any way inhibiting me from eventually moving into this stewardship or this leadership where everybody is in their leadership, in unity, consciousness in the here and now, through their shared gifts and wisdoms. Well, that's usually, dispelling and looking at our shadows and our pains, our unconscious wounding, or things that have been suppressed in that dark age, things that we weren't able to recall because they were maybe too terrible. And we don't have to relive those experiences by healing them. That's not necessarily what healing is. It might feel like that at certain points of the healing journey. But the more that you build momentum in the commitment and the responsibility of self-healing, the more that those situations, if you clear out a particular theme, it'll usually clear out along multiple lifetimes if you are taking on the responsibility and stepping into that healing work as a way of life, as a lifestyle. That is us taking responsibility for, first and foremost, our universes. And our universes are interconnected with what we call universe, outwardly or inwardly. And so everything we do as a galactic human in terms of taking responsibility is one step closer to truly understanding what freedom is, in the way that we've seen slavery, and the way that we've seen those energies operate within a third dimensional reality. Because we're going through a phase or a shift in our dimensional experience, it's starting to merge what seemed impossible or bizarre or paranormal as part of our reality experience in the physical. So we would see things that might have just fit into perfect little pockets, but we could just leave them in the too hard basket. Well, now the energy for human is about integrating in that reality. And that's where we also are dealing, obviously, with what we perceive as the AI consciousness. We're dealing with different forms of reverberating, coexisting realities that are alongside or even just sort of entrenched in our particular choices and timelines as a race, and how that's landed within the nature realm of Earth, the natural world, and how those things are received, or how those things are played out. Obviously, there are a lot of things to resolve as a collective race moving forward. So Galactic Hue-man on Galactic Earth means that we are being reintegrated and reconnected to the cosmic councils of light, you might call them, or the many different perspectives of the one neural pathway of God that are shared and in service to God, whether they're in the dark or the light. Those things are relative to what somebody needs to experience as part of their journey in this multidimensional, multi-reality, experiential union that perceives itself as separate, which is always held and connected and unified in the unified field of source. So this is all, I mean, everything in this is illusion, but the responsibility, the commitment to the responsibility, the commitment to moving forward is part of dispelling and moving past that amnesia, is overcoming what we see as maybe even a karmic experience, something that have impacted us so deeply. And our way of moving beyond that is to take further and deeper responsibility. Taking responsibility for yourself is one really big giant step, and that's wonderful. When we recognize that everything is a reflection of the oneness that we are, and it's like a rainbow, so there's all these different projections of colors that come from not only our perspective of it, but the many different variants of frequencies of the oneness that we are, right? The rainbow that is all love and all oneness, but is expressing itself in its own unique individual color rays or color flames through that analogy of playing with light and the way sound and light intermingle and connect and manifest reality, which is color. Our Hue-man, hue as in colors, and man, living man. The living rainbow or Hue-man is our presence, is our bandwidth, and we are perceiving ourselves to have physical vessels and a physical experience, but we're existing on multiple dimensions in one self. We just sometimes forget the connection between many other aspects of our experience. So Galactic Hue-man is not forgetting. Galactic Hue-man is remembering. Galactic Hue-man is recognizing their cosmic connection to all of life and at peace with themselves as a conduit to all of life, that we are like antennas, as above so below, who receive and transmute. And we've got these devic energies, which are the crystalline energies, which are the builders. They build our physical and color ray reality and color flame reality. And then we've got, and that's how things are manifested in the physical realm. And we are in service to this, this kingdom, this universe, this spiritual hierarchy. We are in service to helping bring about heaven on earth through these crystalline kingdoms and these crystalline frequencies. And then we are also in service to the higher realms of spirit, who bring through these messages from the macro to micro and micro to macro. And so as Galactic Hue-man evolves, and it will happen very quickly when we're all in the right vibrational alignment. So when we learn how to be so in tune with ourselves first and foremost, and we learn how to be in harmony with our universe, our worlds, our own realities, and then when we learn how to be aware and connected to multidimensional experience and multidimensional incarnations and form and no form, and learn how to interact with those aspects of ourselves, and then when we learn how to interact with our teams or beings that have served us here to serve the mission with us, and then the greater teams all start to merge, there's a unification that happens where the energy will accelerate quite a lot when we get to that stage where there's a lot more awareness of all of these aspects of ourselves, and we're able to link all of these neurological pathways of light within our beingness on multiple star systems and multiple dimensions, etc., just like overlaid as many different aspects of our being. And so through that unification, we actually transmute all of what was in amnesia or darkness into light, into a perfected spirit form. And that naturally will accelerate at certain stages when we learn how powerful the collective consciousness can co-create together. But if the first and foremost is the co-creation within the multiple aspects of yourselves. If you can learn to balance that as a galactic Hue-man walking past, and through the initiation of self, remembering who one is and learning how to navigate all of those different aspects, then that then becomes a natural prerequisite for the way in which reality is manifested or organized or reorganized. Re is light, organized. So there's always these moments where we up level and suddenly the geometry changes entirely, and then things just happen at a rapid rate. To get to that point, we really do have to own where we're at and our mistakes, our choices as a collective. And when I say own it, I don't mean you have to be blamed for other people's choices, or be blamed for bad things that have happened in collective consciousness. You know, we've gone through a lot of learning. It's all been part of the journey, and you know, we just have to do the healing work to help recuperate. But the actual purpose of us healing ourselves is really about so we can look at each other as whole and look at each other as God. To see God in others, we have to see God in self. To understand where God plays, or you know, spirit plays through all of this light and shadow, and seeing the many different facets of that reality play out, when we start to see the perfection of oneness that exists behind it all, we can still acknowledge our individual expressions and pains of a situation, but we can also at the same time take responsibility for larger than our own experience. We can recognize that by me doing Ho'oponopono, for example, for somebody who's broken down on the road, who might have no relativity to my personal experience, because maybe I can't stop over and pull over and help this person. By doing Ho'oponopono, I'm recognizing that that person is an extension of my experience. Therefore, I am responsible for that experience. If I'm aware of it and I've taken note of it, then I can easily do a prayer on it. I can bring in bring in my awareness of where a part of me has pulled over on the side of the road and was waiting for somebody to support. The support isn't always the physical confirmation of it. It can be the prayer, it can be the thought, it can be the awareness, it can be the feeling. So there are when we integrate into this galactic human in our multisensory kind of experience, where we learn how to be responsible for all of these, we also take responsibility for where we are as a collective race. And that includes taking responsibility for even beings that have done things that are really detrimental. You know, we can't just hate our way past that. We have to learn to pray and connect and love the journey that we've been on, even if we don't like it, and find love for each and every being, even if we don't like them personally. And the galactic human has to rise above prejudice for us to be able to work in unity. We all have unique contrasting abilities. We are equal, but at the same time, we're not equal in terms of we're very unique. It's not comparable. We're so unique and individual, it's not even comparable. So it's learning how to respect galactic Earth and respect the mission of what it is to incarnate on Earth at this time, and to recognize that that is in a human form, and that human form is a wonderful and amazing gift. This body nature technology that we have received is an exceptional gift from spirit, and we see it as a burden at times, and I can relate to that very personally. It can be very difficult, but when you recognize how powerful your body nature technology is, and how it's always sharing and showing you things and teaching you ways to navigate, and it's actually showing you the limitations of a particular experience at any given time that's required for our growth, then we can see the beauty and the magic in that galactic cosmic experience. So, galactic human, walk with me. Let's do this. Thank you so much for your service. If you're watching this, you are what you are in service. You're living your truth. You're calling that energy in. You just wouldn't be vibrationally attracted to this video at all if it wasn't something that you were considering or thinking about or already doing or already showing or already teaching or already being. You know, it's just the way it is. And this is part of the stages when our gathering in like mind, like heart, in groups where we learn to work as smaller bodies of Christ, as we are learning to work in the larger body of Christ Earth, you know, the planetary Christ body, and learning to be in sync with those very, very beautiful and pure energy in which we have come here to experience, and we have chosen to come here to experience. And we're very lucky to experience this diversity. We can experience from lowest to highest. There is There is sometimes no limit in terms of that choice, but what brings you the most joy, what supports the greater whole, for me is always about self-healing. Everything else is secondary to self-healing. Self-healing at this time is an important part of our entering into this next phase, is recognizing the responsibilities required to now be a steward in this system, in this earth star. So thank you so much for watching Star Songs. I really appreciate your support and your love, and thank you to all the beings and energies that have come through, and I'm sure everybody has their own beautiful teams that have come through in now time, in the in the here and now, past, present, and future, all merged in the oneness that we are. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here and witnessing this shared love for humanity. Thank you.